friends, welcome to the premiere edition of the Primal Stomp Hour, where we highlight the world's finest rock and roll bands. All the way from San Diego, California, here they are, Wild Weekend. All right, here we are with Wild Weekend from San Diego, California. Introduce yourselves.
My name is Kelly. I play rhythm guitar and backup vocals.
My name is Maren, and I play lead guitar and I sing.
My name is Wendy. I play bass and I sing backup.
And I'm Brian, and I play the drums.
How did you guys form, or how long ago, and what brought you guys together?
It was way back in May 2007.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, like 6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, 7 months. And I don't know, it's just, actually before Wendy and Brian joined, we had 2 other girls in the band.
Oh.
But they didn't work out, so
You
we're
booted
really
them?
glad that Wendy and Brian are in the band now. It made it way better. Yeah.
Did you guys start off as a Zeros tribute band at first, or?
Yeah, that was the main idea.
It was, okay.
We had at the beginning, just, we wanted to play Zeros songs because Zeros hadn't been playing in LA for the last 10 years, I believe so.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And
Close
they
to that.
just went recently to did a tour in Rome and in Spain. And we was thinking, yeah, well, let's just make the Zeros tribute girl cover band here and have the Zeros life again in a way, but different because we're all girls, So that was the first idea we had, and then we all write songs, which actually was really nice because Kelly writes songs and Wendy writes songs, I write songs. So we all got together, practice, and then we started writing our original music,
stuff.
So we still play the Zeros songs, and we try to mix in on the set. We already have 5 original songs, so we try to mix it up, a little bit.
Well, eventually it would just be like original compositions, or you think you'll still keep the Zeros?
Oh, we're still
theme.
keeping Zeros songs.
I think we want to be taken seriously more as a real band as opposed to a
tribute band.
But we'll always include Zero songs.
Okay.
Because that's what we understood.
That's
yeah,
right.
and Wild Weekend has to be in the set for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next song is called Beat Your Heart Out. You didn't stand a chance. You kind of left like you were hard on the head. your heart out. Time in love.
Any side project bands you guys are in?
Yeah, I'm in a band with Hector Peñalosa from Sirius actually. That's it's called Squiddo.
Uh-huh.
But we're actually looking for a different name right now, so if you have an idea, let us know.
Okay.
You can reach us on MySpace if you have 100 titles of, band names.
Give out your contact information.
Oh yeah, for the Wild Weekend, it's MySpace/WildWeekend07. I mean MySpace.com/WildWeekend07. And for the Squiddo, it's MySpace/SquiddoTheBand.com.
Okay.
And then Kelly has something.
Yeah, I sing solos. I write my own songs and just do a solo thing.
But she's really
Nobody
good.
really cares about that one.
Are you sure?
No, she's really good.
Oh, come on, give it a plug.
Okay, I'll have a plug. I just recorded a single for Tina Side Records.
Oh,
and
Jim
it's a
Freak.
band called Corvette. Yeah, Jim Freak. And it's with a band called Corvette Summer. So it should be coming out in a few months. It's called Hush Your Boyfriend.
Hmm.
Sounds like Josie Cotton. I'm really excited.
Oh, that's cool. I like Josie Cotton a lot.
Me too.
You guys any shows coming up?
We're playing
On the
New Year's Eve
New Year's Eve
at the Tower Bar.
at the Tower Bar in San Diego. And then on January 4th
At the Chick Cafe.
at the Chick Cafe. And on February, it was 15th,
Oh yeah,
right?
15th
With
Nikki
Nikki
Corvette.
Corvette.
Where's that at?
And
Mr. T's.
In LA,
Yeah.
right? Highland
Oh,
Park.
and I forgot to mention, I'm in the Baja Bugs too. And
Oh,
that's
who's that?
That's actually, it was Hector too. It's a Beatle cover band, but it's not the later ones. It's more like the early Beatles, like
Hamburg?
Hamburg Times, like Chuck Berry, Little Richard. And
Oh, okay, that's
all
cool.
this older, just straight rock and roll stuff.
Who's a better bass player, Victor or Hector?
Victor or Hector? I'm not gonna mention that. It's gonna get me in trouble.
Wendy's the better bass player.
Baby, you're leaving. You're sucking my at me. You're at the top of the and I live down the tree. Baby, you're a leech. You're coming all over me. I can't imagine what it's like to be sad. And the clock's ticking away as you feed on my DNA. I can't take another love bite from you, 'cause I'll end up bleeding from another one of these. Baby, you're a leech. You take the life out of me. I could do much better, but I'm just steadily. Baby, you're a leech. I'll rip you right off of me. You can attach yourself to another fish in the soup. And the clock's ticking away as you feed on my DNA. I can't take another love bite from you, 'cause I'll end up bleeding from another one of these. Baby, you're a leech. 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 Baby, you're a leech.
I'm in this other band called the Sexies, and they're from the Imperial Valley, where they originated from, Brawley. But I was only playing for like a year, and they've been playing since like 2003.
Mm.
And and they just don't really want to do it anymore. So we sort of called it Clits. So my primary band right now is Wild Weekend. Yeah.
Cool. Brian, you have any side projects?
Well, I am going to go on tour here shortly with a band called the Muslims from San Diego. And those three guys, the other three guys, are moving to LA shortly, so I'm just filling in. They don't have a drummer right now, so.
Cool.
They're a really good band.
Yeah, they're
I like
excellent.
them. They're fun.
So how did you guys get involved in the 30th anniversary of the Mask?
Should I answer this? We got in contact with Robert Lopez. He came to one of our shows, and he really liked us. So I think that he contacted Brendan Mullen.
Because the Zeros couldn't play.
Yeah, the Zeros couldn't play, so they thought that we might be,
Good fill-in.
Yeah, so we got there, and it was insane. It was like one of the best experiences of my life. I got to meet Billy Zoom, which is one of my biggest heroes. And we just got to see, we got to see like everybody cool. Charlotte and the Go-Go's, I was like freaking out. And, DJ Bone Break. And Billy Bones was really cool, and Dick's Denny was an unusual guy, but really cool. But it was such a great experience, and we got a lot of, I think we gained a lot of fans, I hope, in LA, because we really want to play LA a lot. And
everyone was like, when we stopped playing, because they had told us before, oh, you only get 20 minutes. And how do we do this? And it was funny because she added up all of the songs, and she added up the minutes and the seconds and everything. She's like, okay, according to this, I added it up, and it equals to 19 minutes and 36 seconds. So we can just make it under 20 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's hard. But after we played, everyone backstage was like, that's it? Oh, and we're like, we only get 20 minutes? And they said, so it's punk rock. Tell them to F
keep
up.
going.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, but people really liked it.
Yeah.
I was afraid that there was going to be some like hardcore
backlash.
Like LA punk fans in the audience that were going to just hate us and tear us apart. But when we were playing and we looked up, everybody seemed to be into it, and it was cool to see a lot of men in the audience, because as a female musician, that's probably one of the most intimidating things, to have guys in the audience just with their arms crossed and just like, just a bunch of chicks. But when we play shows, like, guys actually rock out, and that's just a really cool feeling. At least for me, this is the first band I've ever been in, and I was, I had really bad stage fright, and it's just intimidating to play in front of men because we're girls. I mean, Brian's not a girl, but when we were an all-girl band, I felt like we had to prove ourselves even harder, that we really can rock. I think we've proven ourselves, and it's
you guys are fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you.
I thought I was really scared, and then when I went up on stage, I just took a deep breath, and I just practiced, and then I just
rocked out.
You like shook myself, like loosened up, and then with the sunglasses and the bright lights, you can't see anyone. So I was like, whatever.
Was I with you when? Who was I with? It was either you or you. I was just like, I was like screaming over and over. Like I was like I was so nervous. I thought I was gonna walk on stage and just collapse or like shit my pants or something. But it was
and then me and Martin.
That would have been pretty memorable.
Me and Martin were like backstage going,
Yeah, we were like,
Was the place pretty full when you guys played?
Packed.
So
I mean, it was more packed later.
Yeah,
there was still a lot of people.
Yeah, we went on pretty early.
My hands were shaking. I looked down at my hands, and they were really like seriously going like that. I didn't think I'd be able to.
Yeah, I was really nervous, and I went on stage, and then we had everything given by the people, like the amps and everything, and so the sound guy came up to me, and he was saying, oh, by the way, I'm gonna crossfade the sound and blah blah blah, and I was like, I just saw the crowd in front of me. I was like, just give me the chord. I just play, And then we plugged it in, and the first song, Wendy and me were like looking at it. Hey, that sounds really good, because the amps were really good, and the drums, everything.
Yeah, it's a
really
pretty
nice
big sound system there.
Yeah, and we're like, wow.
It's really embarrassing during the sound check though, because you have to talk into the mic. You're like, hello, and you hear your voice, hello.
Echo through the
and it's
through the echo.
No, that was a really cool experience.
Yeah, that was fun.
We want it again.
Yeah, we're gonna play that show all the time.
The 60th anniversary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
excited to play with Nikki Corvette?
Yes.
Is she an
Yes.
influence on you guys, or?
Yes.
She's
a
gonna
huge
love
one.
us. She's gonna love us.
I hope she does. What if she hated us and she was like, I've never
No,
been
she's probably gonna be like, oh, you guys are so cute.
Yeah, I love Nikki Corvette. I remember buying her record years ago. I think through the Bomb web store.
Yeah,
or
probably.
whatever. I just like was blown away. I thought it was so amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited to meet her. I'll probably be too nervous to talk to her.
We take pictures again.
Yeah, we'll take pictures. Oh yeah, we're gonna do a cover of 99 Luftballons.
Ah.
Ja, na, na, sich Luftballons.
Were you a Zeros fan in Germany?
No, I never heard of
Never heard of
Zeros
them?
before I came to the United States.
Ah, how'd you first hear the Zeros?
Actually, I was living in this party house in San Diego, and one time Hector came by. There was a party, and one time Hector came by, and he plugged in his bass, and I was like, wow, this guy's really good, you know. And so his ex-girlfriend to that time had this tape where from the Zeros in 1977 from a cable access show in
Really?
San Diego. Yeah. And
Can I have a copy of it?
Yeah, actually I do. And she put it in, and I was like, who's this? It sounds good, you know. And she was like, oh, that's my boyfriend's old band, the Zeros, and that's how I, you know, got to know it. But I know a lot of people in Europe, they know the Zeros, especially in Spain. They're
yeah.
really popular in Spain.
I think they're probably bigger in Europe than they are
Oh yeah, they're really
here in
big.
LA, United States.
I first heard the Zeros probably like in 2004. My ex-husband had their record, and what? And I just was blown away. I must have listened to it over and over. And my favorite was "Beat Your Heart Out," and it still is my favorite to play. You know, it's such a good song, and I kind of was all cheesy about it. I wanted to get a tattoo of like this heart with "Beat Your Heart Out" over it, like, and it's so. I was like, just an idea, you know. I don't know. I mean, it's such a good. I don't know.
You still get it?
Huh?
We still get the tattoo?
I don't know. Maybe you should. Oh, my eye.
On your cheek.
On my forehead.
Next to the teardrop that you'll get from there.
Or on your nose, like a little heart on your nose. Right
I should get on my lip.
It's like a skinhead.
Beat your heart out.
Skin bird.
Skin bird, yeah, like a skin bird.
This one is called Black and White. Chopping up my eyebrow pins because you can't go out like this. Covered with this bandage, babe, high scars sewn on my wrist. Slipping on my favorite jeans, don't you know they fit so tight? And reaching home, we're all alone. She came a rock and roll this out, baby. You look so good in black and white, yeah. Won't you come home with me tonight, yeah? You look so good in black and white. Don't you know that she looks so tough in her mom-colored shoes? Take me home to the skyscraper, baby. Won't you blow my fuse? Don't you know the way she walks? Don't you know that girl has style? And when we come home, we're all alone. She became a rock and rolling star, baby. You look so good in black and white, yeah. Won't you come home with me tonight, yeah? You look so good in black and white. Don't you know that she looks so tough in her monocolored shoes? Take me home to the skyscraper, baby. Won't you blow my fuse? Don't you know the way she walks? Don't you know that girl has style? And when we come home, we are all alone. She became a rock and rolling star, baby. You look so good in black and white, yeah. Won't you come home with me tonight, yeah? You look so good in black and white, yeah. Won't you come home with me tonight? Me tonight.
my first practice with them, like I met Hector and it's different. It's weird because he was the bass player and I'm the bass. I felt like really pressured, not pressure, but kind of shy and like, oh, he's listening.
Intimidated.
Like, yeah, he's listening to this. Like, I gotta get this good. I gotta.
And he's like really mean.
Yeah.
He's like a Nazi. Yeah.
But then it was cool because Hector was like, "You're an awesome bass player," and then I was like,
Yeah, when I first went to the very first band practice, I knew Hector was going to be there, and I was like, I didn't even want to walk into the house. I thought I was like going to vomit or something. He's an okay guy.
By the way, we practiced
Just
at
okay.
Hector's house.
Yeah, we practiced at Hector's house.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
And he's helping us out a lot, so we want to thank him for that.
Is he kind of like the overseeing
No,
He's like our
person,
he doesn't really have
manager,
anything
or?
to do with it. He just is really supportive.
Okay.
Yeah, he supports it. He drives us, you know, to the
He's our
gigs.
chauffeur.
designated
It's
driver.
like driving Miss Wild Weekend.
Yeah, he feeds
And you're
us.
like, who is it?
He does this right now. Tells us that we should mention that. Yeah, even Javier from
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask
Zeros,
that. Yeah.
he
What does
got
Javier think of?
recently into it because suddenly there was a friend request on MySpace,
Yeah.
and he wrote us that he really likes us. So
Has he seen you guys perform it yet?
he hasn't, but I'm
Hasn't.
working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it in Union.
Yeah, we really want to get the Zeros together for
I-
one gig in Los Angeles and have us open up.
I tried to get him
Yeah,
for
well,
February. It didn't work out though.
Yeah.
I think everybody tried really, really hard.
I think
So we get them.
One of these days,
We
we'll get him.
This song is called Wimp. You stare at me and you make me tense. You talk it loud, but you make no sense. You come over trying to hang around. You come over, you're bringing me down. You're still a wimp. You're just a wimp. You're just a wimp. You're just a wimp. I bet you think that you're really great, just 'cause you older and you stay out late. For you will play to see if you dare. You try to act like you're too tough to care. You're still a wimp. You're just a wimp. You're just a wimp. You're just a wimp. You smoke cigarettes and act real cool. You say spunk, let's go shoot some pool. Susie says, yeah, I wanna go. No, 'cause you dance with me and now. 'Cause you're a wimp. You're just a wimp. You're just a wimp. You're just a wimp.
Are you gonna ask us who our musical influences are?
Well, I was, but I wasn't sure. I think she didn't want that asked.
Well, I leave myself
Why?
out.
Because what are you gonna say? Like
No,
right said friend?
because there's but there's so many like people.
Okay,
I
let's
love,
do
you
top
know,
three. Top three bands. It doesn't have to be
No.
our favorite bands.
Right
Just
said
three bands that we
friend.
really like. Okay.
Name it.
Right,
All right.
goes first.
What are some of your major influences I'll do the generic question.
Are we starting with me first?
Yeah.
Okay, I say my top 3. Oh wait, I'm gonna say top 4.
Okay.
Okay, top 5.
How about top 5?
Okay,
Top five
Zeros,
favorite bands. So.
The Beatles, of course. Beatles don't really count. I said the Zeros. I said it 3 times now. What was I gonna? Oh yeah, X is like my all-time favorite band. I thought Exene was gonna be at the Mask show because I was like, that's my one chance to meet her, and so I met 2 out of 3. It's not bad.
Not too bad.
I sound really creepy, huh? Like I'm like stalking her.
Stalking?
I'm not stalking her. I love her. And the Ronettes and Shangri-Las.
Who was the last one?
Shangri-Las.
Oh, okay.
I hate this question. Okay.
Sorry.
I love the Beatles.
Right side Fred.
I love the Zeros.
Flock of seagulls.
Nana.
I just recently got into Leonard Cohen. The famous Blue Raincoat is one of my favorite songs. And Hey, That's No Way to Say Goodbye is freaking awesome. And
You can say fucking if you want.
no, I can't.
It's all it's
Oh,
cable.
it's fucking awesome.
Okay, there we go. Makes you feel better.
Yeah, it does make me feel better. I also like. There just goes again. I like Generation X. Was cool. I like X too. I like
3 bands.
Oh, yeah, 3 bands.
I'm just kidding.
I like the Church. The Church.
Oh yeah.
They're
From
very-
Australia.
Yeah. Very good songs.
Unguarded Moment. That's a good song.
Under the Milky Way.
Oh yeah, they're hits. Under the Milky Way.
Well, when I first started playing bass in high school, like sophomore year, my boyfriend at the time, he played guitar and he was always playing metal, and so I would learn Metallica. I would, yes, and that's how I mean, come on, like, his, just, like, I would learn the songs and it just, made it possible for me to use all my fingers, and that's really important when you learn the bass and stuff. And I use my pinky more than I do my other fingers because of playing Metallica. And so that was the influence. And then, of course, Buddy Holly and the Crickets, and Jonathan Richman from the Mono Lovers.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So pretty broad taste there.
Yeah.
Metallica, Buddy Holly,
From
and Jonathan
Metallica,
Richman.
Jonathan
That's pretty
We
wild.
should do a mashup of all 3.
Yeah.
Super good.
Yeah.
I think my number 1. I don't know. It always changes, but David Bowie is like. I'm obsessed. Ever since when I was a little kid and I saw Labyrinth. Just like the worst way to get introduced to David Bowie, but it's like the stupidest thing he ever did, and he looks ridiculous in it. But when I saw Labyrinth, I was like, who is that guy? And I was like 6 years old. But yeah, I just love David Bowie and Brian Eno and all that stuff.
Like Rock's music?
Yeah, but I actually like the Eno stuff a little more.
Better than...
Yeah. But the first 2 Roxy music albums are great that he's on. And, I don't know. What else?
Do you like the Zeros?
Yeah, they're okay. They're alright.
You can take them around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know I'm not supposed to say 3, but
Go ahead.
I really am influenced by the older Cleveland punk scene, like Rocket from the Tombs and Pagans,
Electric Eels.
Mirrors, and
That's good stuff.
that's kind of the sound I hopefully want to make
Hmm.
someday. Really scratchy.
Why
raw.
did Cleveland just...
Well, all those bands, Rocket from the Tombs, and Dead Boys, and Pagans, Mirrors and stuff, like they're all from that area. What?
Nothing.
You gonna knit?
We're thinking about knitting.
I don't know. It's just I really like that stuff. Kind of sound I want to make someday. Yeah.
Is that what you want to... Wild Weekend to sound like, or just something else? Side project, maybe?
Yeah, side project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Wild Weekend has so many different sounds, and that's why I love this band, because, like, you can take a band like the Ramones, who are, a great band, but after a while it's like, it all starts kind of sounding alike. Not that that's a bad thing, but with Wild Weekend, the songs Wendy writes are totally different than the songs Maren writes, that are totally different than the ones I write. And so I like how it's so diverse, and so I'm really excited to have a really broader
Sound.
We just need more.
well,
more
no, when we have like more original songs, you know, I
Mhm.
think it's gonna be really cool because I think, you know, people might not like my songs, but they might like Marin's songs, you know, or you know, it's. I think that the audience can choose, you know.
And it's
have
really
it.
cool that we can express ourselves musically and just be totally open about it, and have a group, a band, you know, working together, our own styles, and we're just completely open with each other's, you know, musical tastes. It's really cool. I like it.
Let's do Hand Grenade Heart. Stay in my room because got black walls, got a few friends, we got balls, teenage lovers and eyeshadows, nothing to see except the girls we know. She wears girl size small and I smelled the romance. She had the move on me, feel the glance. My hair was a mess. She looked like a star. The sunglasses melted and the desert was cold. Gotta hand grenade hard with the love for you. Gotta hand grenade hard when my blood runs through. Gotta hand grenade hard with the love for you. Gotta hand grenade hard. Joe says his life being just a bore. He took him out to the threads of sister's door. The doctor tubes inside of his mouth. He pumped his stomach. That's the way it goes. He took a cigarette case from inside of the purse. Talked like a queen and said his brother was worse. I looked like a boy in my Scouts sunglasses. He had a collection of backstage passes. Gotta hand grenade hard with my love for you. Gotta hand grenade hard when my love runs through. Gotta hand grenade hard with the love for you. Gotta hand grenade hard. Sunset goods and I'm raising the birds and I'm hitting the birds and I'm riding the bus. I may look tough, but I'm feeling so beat in my 45 jeans. Fascist of the street. She was cold and young coming up the street. She wears swastika hat and looks so sweet. My hair was blonde, long and soft. She smiled at me, so I picked her up. Gotta hand grenade hard with a love for you. Gotta hand grenade hard when my blood runs through. Gotta hand grenade hard with a love for you. Gotta hand grenade hard. Gotta hand grenade hard. Gotta hand grenade hard. Gotta hand grenade hard. Gotta hand grenade hard.
I don't think I asked
I
this.
wanna
How did you guys actually meet?
It's fate.
It was fate.
Okay, well, we'll start with me. I've known Brian for years.
Yeah.
He was in a band called The Plot to Blow Up Eiffel Tower, and I was dating the singer of that band for a few years, and I recorded with them a few times. So I've known Brian for years. And then Marin and I met.
When the previous players who were actually at the beginning, I asked Mel and Caitlin, who are in another band, I asked them if they want to join Live Weekend and make a Zero's tribute band, right? So then they knew Kelly because they told me, I was like, oh, we don't have another guitar player, you know, do you know anybody? And they were saying, oh, we know Kelly, she can play guitar and she can sing really well, right? So that's how
Yeah,
we
except
met.
I didn't know how to play guitar. I just lied.
Oh,
and said, sure.
she knows how to play guitar.
Well,
Now.
yeah. so that's how her and I met, and then we were really desperate to get a bass player for the LA show. It was a long story, but we needed a bass player, and so and a drummer. So we asked Brian to be in it, and then we were at a bar one night, and her and I were like freaking. It was on Halloween, and we were like freaking out.
Like,
I was sitting right next to Wendy. I've never even met her.
Because it was 3 weeks before
was
the
it? No, it was like
Echo.
a week.
No, it was like 11 days
It was
before
like-
the show.
oh,
11 days. I
serious?
remember
Oh,
11. And so I was like sitting next to this one of my friends, and I was like, "Do you know any bass players?" And Wendy was sitting right next to her, and we were talking. We were like, "Okay, what about the girl from Kill Me Tomorrow?" Or like, you know, we could do like maybe we could get the girl from the Glossines or something. And we were just like thinking, and then he's like, "Wait a second,
Yeah.
Wendy plays bass,"
This,
and I was
this
like,
guy,
"What?" Yeah.
This guy, he was like trying to talk. I was at the bar, and you know, my friend was DJing this Halloween metal massacre thing, and I was just like rocking out, and he bought me like 2 drinks, just, you know, trying to talk to me. So I didn't want to be mean. I was talking to him, and for some reason, somehow we got into music, and I told him I played bass, and then I was sitting there later on, you know, rocking out, and then he turned to me and says, "Hey, don't you play bass?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "They're looking for a bass player."
And I like grabbed her, and I was like,
Please play
because she was like, okay, I was like, she's cute. Okay, so that's good. So I was like,
Is that a requirement?
Hi. No, but it's just, you know, it's a perk. And so I like was like, I'm Kelly, I've been in this band Wild Weekend.
And it was so funny that I said, "What band are you in?" And they go, "Wild Weekend." I was like, "No way," because I heard of Wild Weekend before when I was pregnant. I mean, I was just like at home, you know, this little hermit, and I was like, "Oh, there's this all-girl Zeros cover band," and I'm being all hormonal. I started crying, like, "I want to play with them so bad." Like, I'm never gonna do my dreams. Like, really, it just, you know, pregnancy hormones. And then it was so funny. I ended up playing.
It seriously was like, I know it sounds crazy, but it was like fate. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like because I didn't really want to go to that Halloween night, to be honest with you. I just like was not in the mood, and I don't like bars, and I pretty much went because
It
our
was a
friend
heavy
Megan-
metal.
Yeah, and I'm not like, no offense,
Right, it was
I
heavy
used to
metal.
like metal when I was like 13, but I've like kind of grown out of
I
that.
don't.
So, yeah, it was like seriously fate. I mean, if I wouldn't have talked to my friend that was sitting next to me, you know, and I just was like desperate. I know he was in a band, and I don't know, it was really weird. And so I was like, you have to be in our band, and you have to learn these songs in 11 days. And she's like, cool, and she learned the songs in 1 band practice.
Yeah,
Wow.
she was amazing. She came to practice, and we're like, okay, let's check her out, you know, how it is when you get a new member.
Yeah.
And she plugged in the bass, and then we played Don't Push Me Around, and we're like,
Yeah. we were
okay,
all
you're in the
blown away.
band.
No, she's really good. She's
Thank
like
you very
Flea.
much.
She's like the Flea of punk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
She's like
now
Les
she's rocking
Claypool.
out.
She's like the Les Claypool of San Diego,
Yeah.
but cuter and cooler.
Well, it was fun. It was pretty easy. I mean, because I've already had been listening to the Zeros, so I knew the songs, but I didn't know how to play them.
Oh no,
Oh.
you knew it. You
You
like
did.
play really good.
Oh, thanks. It was really fun.
Did Hector show you how to play the songs?
No, I asked him how this one song, "Getting Nowhere Fast." It's just really like, doo-doo-doo-doo. And I listened to the song over and over, and I kind of figured it out on my own. I just asked him just to make sure that it was right. And I was, I gotta listen to it later. He never told me. So yeah.
I think that we like didn't really want it to be like exactly like the Zeros
Mhm.
because it's like we're not the Zeros, and we want to have our own spin on it.
Yeah, I mean you can. It was always with tribute bands, you know. I mean I never thought it's like, you know, there's all those Beatles tribute bands or cover bands, and they always try to dress up exactly like
Right.
the Beatles or look like Paul McCartney, but you can't, you know, and it always comes over kind of silly in a way.
Mhm.
So I didn't want to do that. I mean, we can anyways because we're girls, you
Right.
know. And it's 30 years later and everything changed, you know, you can't go back to that time. So we tried just to put our own spin on it, you know, just make it our own.
hmm
Even if we maybe don't play the solo exactly how Robert played it, or if the bass line
Or
is maybe
backup
not
singing.
Yeah, I mean it's all different, you know. But we like
I-
to play the songs. They're great
Yeah.
songs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, I
We
agree.
don't play it exactly, but I really like Hector's bass lines and stuff because they're not the same as the guitar. They're up higher, and I really like that. So I try to do it similar to that.
Hmm.
It's good stuff. He's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Oh shucks.
This song is called Wild Weekend.
Thank
Well, okay. I think that probably concludes our interview.
Okay, thank you.
So-
Thanks very much. It's fun.
Oh wait, we need to mention
Oh, yeah.
the records.
Oh yeah.
Oh, can we mention?
Absolutely, yeah,
can we
anything.
plug something?
Absolutely. Anything else to
so
plug?
we
or-
got we're really honored because we got contacted by Munster Records out of Spain.
From Spain, yeah.
And we'd only been a
Great
band for
label.
about 6 months, and so it was like really cool because they contacted us and wanted to put out our record. And
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
So they're coming out with 2 7-inch singles in February.
Yeah.
And
February.
we're really excited.
2000.
We have our friend Brad. He has a company called Twitch to the Tune, and he's one of the most amazing graphic artists I've ever met. And he made the covers for us, and they're a spin-off of 2 zeros 7 inches, and they look exactly like it. It's just, I don't know, we're really excited.
What songs are you guys releasing?
Wimp and Don't Push Me Around.
Black and
First
White.
Black and White and
Previous one.
Cosmetic Couple are
Oh.
the second one. And so hopefully, because Inigo from Monster Record, he contacted us, and he was already saying that maybe we can, he's willing to put out another 7-inch with original songs.
Mhm.
So we're kind of working on that too.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
the singles that are coming out, that's with the previous one.
Yeah, those are with the 2
Oh,
albums.
okay.
Yeah.
So the third one would be the new
We
one.
didn't
The
get
new
to
lineup.
record till later after you already sent them, right?
Mm.
Wow, that's
Yes.
actually-
I think initially he wanted the all-girl band. I think he thought maybe it was more marketable.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
you
I
could sell a bunch
screwed
of
it up.
records just because. Yeah. But now it's like we don't
Dress and drag.
we don't need to sell ourselves being like a chick band.
Right.
And I don't want people to like us because we're girls.
'Cause you're
They-
girls.
Brian is like
Yeah.
really rad.
Brian just
I
like
don't
a
think
girl.
I'm rad.
I don't
and
I don't
He's
I don't want
really
anyone
rad.
else.
He's just one of the girls.
Yeah.
just kind of sit around talking about boys. And, you know, chew gum, dish on Hollywood actors and stuff.
Watch
Yeah.
Project Runway
Yeah.
together.
American
Heidi
Idol.
Klum.
Yeah.
We still have to have a slumber party.
Oh, the slumber party. Yeah.
Well, that's great news. Congratulations on that.
And I
God.
wanted to say, check out our original songs. They're also on MySpace on our page, Wild Weekend 07. So you should check them out and comment on how you like them.
Do you have any other ways to contact you besides MySpace?
We usually do everything over
Through that MySpace?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll give that address out one more time.
It's www.myspace.com/wildweekend07.
And it's 07. To be
Oh,
technical.
07.
Because I don't want
Oh,
someone
yeah,
to
I
type
know,
in
I know.
O and
Right.
be like,
I
it
had
was
a
like
math
some
teacher
different
Good point.
that weekend.
I had a math teacher in high school that used to do that.
Oh.
When a student would say O, like when he'd give out the answer and he'd say O, he'd write O-H, 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 O-H as a joke.
Asshole.
To make, no, 0.
Yeah. Because there is another Wild Weekend.
In
Do you know that?
Italy.
No.
Yeah, it's an Italian band.
Yeah.
And
Really?
they're called The Wild Weekend, but they named themselves after the Zeros. So they contacted us one time. They were really nice about it. They were like, hey, and we were like, hey.
We'll have to be
And
Wild
so-
Weekend US. is what we'll have to
Right.
do. They always do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other Wild Weekend is, if it's just Wild Weekend 77, that's the original Zeros MySpace. So just.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Who runs that? Do you know?
I don't really
Is it
know.
just fan? Is it a
wa-
fan page or?
I think
Yeah,
it's
it's a fan
Javier, but I wasn't sure it was Javier, but
I think it's a fan page.
it's a fan
I
page.
think,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know. But then we were on the favorite 8, and since Javier contacted us,
Oh, yeah.
we were suddenly on his favorite 8, and
Yeah.
whatever.
We hope
That's
to be in
MySpace
everybody's
lingo
top
for all you people who
friends,
don't know.
And if we're not your top friends, we will find you and
And kill you. Okay.
That's true.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. It was a lot of fun
Yeah,
having you guys,
it was
and
really fun.
and we'll look forward to seeing you guys
Sorry, I was sick.
in February with Nikki Corvette
Yeah.
at Mr. T's Bowl.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hopefully more shows in LA.
We'll work on that.
Shows here. We
work
wanted
on
to
that.
say
Yeah,
that
we want to
too.
play with your cool band.
And then when Gravy Train comes back, we're gonna play with them.
Oh yeah, maybe too.
We'll work on that. Here we are with Hector Penalosa of the Zeros. What do you think about Wild Weekend?
Well, I think they're really great. I was surprised when I heard that Maren wanted to make this band because, as she said in previous interviews, we played together in a other band, and every time we would come up to LA to play, it seems like a few people in the crowd after the shows would always come up to me and want to talk about the Zeros. It's ironic that Maren made the band Wild Weekend, because in the beginning she was always complaining, oh, they only come here to see you, and you know, and they want to just see one of the guys in the Zeros play and talk to you about the Zeros, and she was getting very aggravated by that. But I guess somewhere down the line she must have realized, well, can't beat them, join them, and probably saw the potential of doing something like that, you know. So when she told me she was going to do it, I was actually shocked, because you know, I never expected that from her. But she's very unpredictable sometimes, so that's good. And
keeps you on your toes.
You know, I told her, so I'll do whatever I can to make the thing happen, you know, and just support the project. So I think it's cool, you know.
You gone to every Wild Weekend show?
Well, yeah, I help out with a lot of things.
Oh, okay.
You know, moving equipment, driving, whatever needs to be done, you know.
That's awfully nice of you.
Yeah. So, I prefer to see you know, 4 cute young people doing Zeros than 4 old, worn-out Mexican punkers doing it. But that's my take on it. I'm sure other people would want to see the original band too, but maybe someday, who knows. It's kind of hard to have the band come together, because half of the members, ex-members, are willing to do it, and the other half, if they're in the mood, they'll want to do it, but maybe usually they don't want to bother with it, and I really can't speak for them.
Right.
So.
I know Europe seems to get more Zero shows than the U.S.
Yeah, well, the band's very, very well known in Spain, and from my experience, Sweden as well. And you know, we have toured France, Germany, Spain, Sweden. And I was really shocked when I went to Spain the first time, because the band had been in hiatus for probably about 5 years, because the last time the band actually did anything was in 1990, when Bomp re-released the original demos. And we did a small West Coast tour. I think we did maybe like 4 shows total. And you know, we weren't thinking about getting back together at that time. We just figured, hey, Bomp asked us to promote this thing, let's just do it. We hadn't played in 10 years at that point. And it was fun, you know, it was like a nice little family get-together. And we left it at that. We finished and we left it at that. But on one of those gigs, there was somebody who had a small label, and they wanted us to record something new for their label, which was just a 7-inch. And that 7-inch turned into a whole LP later on.
Was that Knockin' Me Dead?
Yeah, that was Knockin' Me Dead from Gasatanka on Gasatanka Records. And what Gasatanka did is they went and they licensed the masters to Munster in Madrid. And next thing you know, there was like an offer to tour Spain, all expenses paid. So I'd never been to Europe. I figured, hey, I'll go and play for one guy at a club as long as I get my free plane ticket.
Right.
You know? And that's, honestly, that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought, who's going to know about the Zeros in Spain or any other part of the world, for that matter? I mean, you just don't think in those terms when you're playing. You're just doing it because you like it. You're not saying, oh, you know, I hope there's 1,000 people showing up here or there. You're just doing it for fun. But it was exactly the opposite when we did a first show. I mean, it was the club was just packed with people, and it was a shock, you know. But it was really satisfying at the same time, because there were a lot of times when the band went through some pretty hard times with the vehicles breaking down in the middle of winter somewhere in, you know, upper Nevada state, and freezing overnight in a
Right.
you know, car that had no heat or whatever, and then you feel like, oh well, I guess it wasn't that bad after all, because when you're experiencing that at that moment, you're going, what the hell am I doing out here? You know, I could be home just all cozy in bed.
Right.
But then at the same time, that's what you want to do. So, you know, you have to stick to your passion regardless. And when you see that result, like I said earlier, with a lot of people and they're very like into the band, you're going, wow, I guess it was, you know, after all, it was not a waste of time at all, you know, after all. So it's a cool feeling, you know.
I bet.
When it gets dark, we all come out, looking for love, ready to rock out. We look so pretty, so dressed up, and the round down the city, so messed up. See the flashes in the silver lame, all the punks in their black berets, looking like lovers
Buenas noches.
Now, do you support? Do you like that Wild Weekend does more originals now than?
Oh, totally.
Than,
I
Zero's covers?
actually, I had made that comment at one point to Maren too. I said, you know, it's like, that's great that the whole set is consisting of zeros in the beginning, but at some point you really need to cross over and show your own creativity, and the sooner the better, because I believe that way they won't end up just being pigeonholed as a zeros cover band, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And in their own right, I mean, they're great songwriters, and they should do that, and they should expand, you know, towards a more original
Mm-hmm.
band. And I think they will just be as popular on their own without having to rely on, you know, old punk songs. You know.
So what side projects are you doing? What projects are you doing nowadays?
Well, Mara and I have a band called Squiddo, but the name is pretty much, you know, dead. Our recent bass player is no longer with us, so at this point the whole thing's on hold, and who knows, we may just keep rolling with it with a new name and a new bass player, or maybe we just, you know, might be a good time to just, you know, put an end to it and start something else.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly Maren writes the majority of the songs, and then I help her with intros or middle parts or endings, or, you know, just
Mm-hmm.
hooks and whatever. If she has a real catchy part in her song, I say, hey, you know, let's repeat that a little bit more so it gets a little more, you know, in people's heads. But the other project we have is called the Baja Bugs, and that's really just sort of like a fun band, you know, for a little fun money, is what I always say, because we mostly do early Beatles, Cavern Hamburg, lots of 50 stuff, Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly, Little Richard,
Mm-hmm.
Carl Perkins, Arthur Alexander, you know, Larry Williams, that kind of stuff, because that's the music that I was influenced to become a musician by, you know. When I heard the Beatles, I mean, that's what's so great about that band. It's that, as you all well know, when they came around, suddenly everybody traded in their baseball bats and mitts for electric guitars, and, you know, everybody wanted to be in a band, because it was the ultimate DIY, you know, do it yourself. Because before those guys, it always seemed like Elvis was just like too managed and too polished and too much of a product. But the Beatles came along, and suddenly it was like, oh, there's these four guys who grew up in some fucked up little town, you know, in England, who just believed in what they wanted to do, and they did it. And it just inspired so many other people to say, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. I mean, to me, there's a lot of parallel between what the Beatles did to become successful and what the whole punk thing was, which was another DIY type of approach, you know. And a lot of people would put down the Beatles because after they became successful, that's not what's supposed to happen. But if you do your research in their history, you'll see how, like, these guys were up against a lot of really heavy walls and obstacles and burdens, but they just stuck to it, you know, and got through. And that was what's so cool about them. It's not even more the music, but just that spirit that they had, that is what attracted me to them and made me want to play music too, because I thought, you know, this is the way out. You know, it's the way to escape the ugliness of life. Because, I mean, look at Lennon, you know, he lost his mom, and McCartney too, and all this stuff, but the music is what, it was their escape from that. They could have just been a bunch of depressed, drunken people after all that and said, oh, my life sucks, but they said, fuck it, you know, it's either you sink or swim. That's what you're going to do. That's always been what I liked about it.
I noticed the Zeros covered a lot of, not a lot, but they covered some 60s garage bands, the Standells and some of the other stuff.
Yeah, we love that stuff.
Big influence on you guys
as
well?
Totally, as well, you know. Pushing Too Hard by the Seeds. Sometimes Good Guys Don't Wear White by the Standells. That stuff was, I mean, that's just really great, raw, very simple, very energetic type of music, you know. And that's really hard to do. It's like I mean, anybody who usually like bands like Yes, or I don't know. I mean, they're probably, you know, no longer around, but I never understood those type of bands, or Steely Dan and stuff, because that's very super technical. It's all about I went to, you know, Blue Bear Music or whatever, and I can do all these licks really fast, and look at me, I can come up with these, you know, like witty little like different time signatures in the song, and I guess if you're into that sort of jazzy rock, and you want to think about what they're doing instead of feeling it, then you can sit there and decipher the whole thing and say, oh yeah, those guys are geniuses or whatever. But the bottom line is music's about feeling, you know, and that's why I love Chuck Berry, because, you know, he's the simplest of the simple, you know, or like Buddy Holly too, because they're super simple, but man, they put that feeling across that's like you can't beat it. You know, that's the difference. And so bands like the Standells or even the Seeds, who, granted, the Seeds had very sort of almost repetitive type songs, but there was a good vibe in there, you know, and that's what's so great. And in a lot of ways, you know, punk was that way too, as well, because there was like a lot of real simple songs, but they had balls, you know, they had energy. It's like push it out, and that's kind of hard to do sometimes, because you can see a lot of bands play, but you know, where's the fire? Where's the you know, you gotta have that, you know.
Well,
you know, it might sound like a weird question.
Go ahead.
But
that's Mike.
When you guys in the Zeros, you know, when you first came out, did you ever run into any like sort of racism or anything being an all Mexican punk rock band?
Well, that's a good question. I think in a very subtle kind of way, I think we did. Especially if you take into consideration that, you know, bands like the Dickies got signed to A&M Records, and the Go-Go's got signed to A&M Records, and at that time it was like X to Elektra or whatever. I mean, you know, the record labels in Hollywood were snatching everybody up left and right because they knew there was like something there. But yeah, we never really got approached. It did cross our mind sometimes, but
so songs are I mean, they're very catchy, very pop. I mean, they're, you know, I don't know. Yeah,
and you know, I mean, it's like, but that's just the culture we live in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, take somebody like Bruce Lee. You know, he was a guy who was just amazing, but he faced a lot of that too, and he had to go to his homeland to become famous and show everybody, hey, look, you know, you guys could have had me, but you chose not to. And he experienced that same kind of thing. So it's just part of the business, you know, in the entertainment world.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like the racism in the business, but also
how about in clubs?
Touring.
Very rarely.
You just weren't embraced.
That was the great thing about punk rock, that the first wave of punk was like anything was up for grabs. Anybody could do anything they wanted, and everybody seemed to like be supportive of it. You know, it was really great because you know, you had the weirdos, and they had their little thing, and then you had like the Deadbeats, and they had their little thing, and it was all different from each other. The Zeros was totally different from the other stuff, and the Dills and all these bands, but they all came together and made something happen, you know. And it was more like I don't want to say like an artist co-op, but it had that feeling like, hey, you're creative in your own way, you know, and we're creative in our own way, and we'll pile it all together and make it bigger. I think when the hardcore scene started coming around, it completely got rid of that. It became this one thing where it's like, you know, all the kids were, you know, with their heads shaved, and they were like moshing, and it became more violent, and the sound almost became kind of similar with a lot of bands, you know, and so it got rid of that creative diversity, you know, because it was at all levels, and it just became one thing. So that's what happened there.
Thanks for your time, Hector.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.